Welcome to the Celebration of You. I'm your host, Holly Dowling. I'm thrilled to share with you incredible people from all over the world who are living and leading extraordinary lives. From overcoming immense adversity to discovering the secret sauce to leading with courage and grace. Their stories are going to bring you hope and inspiration. Now let the stories begin. Hi, everybody, and welcome to the Celebration of You. And so excited because, as you know, the guests that I get to celebrate on the show are people that I believe, if we're open to serendipitous, the moments in our life, you never know who you're going to meet. And when you do meet extraordinary people, you go, wow, I'm going to stay in touch with you for the rest of my life. So this incredible woman, we just met in LA like a couple months ago, and we just hit it off. I mean, we have some moments we probably can't really talk about because we were laughing so hard. I think we were disrupting everybody else around us. But I mean, you could just hear her giggling. I am so excited to introduce you to the beautiful and the amazing Chef Amber Caudle. Amber, thank you, my love, for being here.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Well, you know, and just hearing you giggle, I just remember when we sat down next to each other and we started laughing. Do you remember?
Love. Yes, we were kindred souls. I was like, yes.
Yes.
And I was meant to be here at this time.
Totally. And we were both really blessed to be a part of something really special in LA, shooting some videos and photos and just working on our brand with a beautiful friend of both of ours, Carrie Murphy. So I give her a shout out because she's so wonderful at bringing brilliant people together. So, love that. And Amber, I know is Chef Amber, but I'm going to call you Amber, my love, because the minute we connected, within 10 minutes, we looked at each other and I'm like, oh my God, I love you.
I love those moments. It's amazing.
Yes. And then when I learned about what you do, I'm like, what? So, okay. So let's start with present day. Tell us, so the listeners can hear all about what you're currently doing and the incredible magic that's happening and how fast it's happening.
Okay. So I am a chef and I own a sexy organic cafe in Hermosa Beach in Southern California. It's been open for 7 years and we'll probably get into why I opened it and all that. But right now what I'm currently doing is we're in massive expansion. So my second location in Manhattan Beach is opening up January 2020, which is very exciting. I also have a wholesale kitchen where we're trying to get some like product line going. I'm also writing my cookbook. So that should be out hopefully February, March 2020. Everything's moving very fast. Mm-hmm. And I also have a Chef Amber brand where I speak and teach. I have an online cooking class series. I have a blog, chefamber.com. And through my Instagram page, I give a lot of tips and tools for healthy, holistic living, as long as, of course, yummy, sexy, beautiful recipes. So,
and that's what I loved.
Yeah. So that's what I'm doing now. That's like currently where I'm at right now. There's a lot of transition. We're rebranding the Source Cafe right now, which is really exciting, getting a fresh new logo after 7 years and just expansion and growing. Time is moving fast. So, yeah.
It does. And look at the timing of when we met and now how many things are happening and transpiring and manifesting so fast for you. So tell us let's pause and tell us about the Source. You know, why the name and what is the premise? Because your passion, when I fell in love and learned what you're doing and the kind of food you're creating and tell us about your passion behind the Source and what food is.
Okay. Yeah. So the Source came about basically because of my health journey and a rock bottom. And I wanted to open up a cafe that was safe, healthy, that was organic, GMO free. When I say safe, it was a place where my family and friends and I could eat. There was nothing like that in Hermosa 7 years ago. And I was at a rock bottom with my health and was struggling with all kinds of different things and could not go out to eat anywhere and was like, you know what, it's time to fuel and nourish my body with food. So that was basically the intention behind the Source. And with the name, I was like, I want to source the best people. I want to source the best food. I want to source the best, customers and source universe, God, love, all being. That's just like really, I don't know, I was really connected and it just sort of happened. I was drinking margaritas at the bar with one of my best friends and we were saying, I want to source good food and great people in the community. And it was like, the Source, there it is. Oh. So I just got the chills as I was telling that. Oh. And so like my intention still to this day is providing people with beautiful, awesome food that, yes, it's healthy. And I always like to speak that sexy is the new healthy. I like to put a a twist around a healthy food, because I find that people get intimidating, or they stick their nose up at healthy food thinking it's steamed broccoli or, grilled chicken or tofu, when in fact it's not, right? Healthy food can, yes, it's going to nourish our bodies, but I also believe it can be really exciting and beautiful and fun and delicious and not feel deprived and satiating. And so I really am passionate about making a difference in people's lives through food, one meal at a time. And so that is still the basis and that keeps me going right now towards this life purpose of mine, that I get to actually see a difference in people's lives and their bodies and their minds. I believe that health is holistic, and I believe that food nourishes our mind, body, and our soul. And it's amazing when I get feedback from my customers that are like, oh my gosh, my kid can't eat anywhere else, or I'm recovering from cancer, or I've gotten off my high blood pressure medicine, or my autoimmunes. I can eat here. My autoimmunes lessened, just it goes on and on and on. So food is medicine. And, I know that's an old one, but it's true. And just making it in a fun, approachable way.
You know what I love too, and I'm going to have to go here right now, because two things that are so coming strong to me is right now we are in, I'm going to call it an epidemic of trends of eating, and I'm not going to say anything negative, but we've got people doing this keto thing. We've got paleo, we've got the fasting thing. I mean, we've got all these different things. And granted, if it works for you, wonderful. But what I learned in my short time with you was, it's like it's not about eliminating anything. It's about understanding how to fuel your body. And when you started sharing with me, and this is what I want us to share, maybe share two stories, Amber, of when you've got people that are battling cancer that are eating your food. You have autoimmune diseases. You have blood pressure, right? If I could eat in a way that could lower my blood pressure, who doesn't want to feel better? And the fact that you said you don't have to turn your nose up and think it has to be all this, let's face it, crappy tasting food. Yeah. So can you share with us, first of all, what's one of the craziest recipes that tastes great and it's one of the craziest, wholesome things? I want to hear that. And then top of mind, whatever comes to you, a really cool success story of somebody's health.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Well, this is exciting. Well, the weird thing. Yeah. So I always like to tell my staff, sometimes I'll say, hey guys, I made something really weird. And they're always like, Chef, your weirdest stuff is the best. So for me, I like to sneak in healthy ingredients because that's my favorite. I like to do some sneaky cooking. So I'll give you an example. My smoothie bowls are made with all frozen steamed vegetables instead of fruit. So for instance, I've got steamed purple sweet potato, cauliflower, zucchini, cucumber, broccoli, and I mix that up with coconut milk and some protein powder. And sometimes I put seaweed and blue-green algae. And I'm telling you, I can make them bright. Yeah, they're amazing. So these bowls, we call them the healthy ice creams at the source. And some are bright pink from beet, some are bright blue, some are bright green and bright purple. And I can get kids to eat it as healthy ice cream and adults that are picky. So I just got the chills because that's probably what I'm known for. I mean, that is my favorite. Oh. That's my favorite. I also do a lot of let's see. Well, I have a zucchini brownie right now. The base is made out of raw cacao, pea protein, and zucchini. There's no flour, there's no egg, there's no yeast, there's no sugar.
Seriously?
And then yes. Whoa. And so it says, I know. And then, but look at the base. It's all protein, flax, and vegetables, right? Nobody would ever know that has zucchini in it. And then the topping is a tahini frosting, which is just tahini, water, and a little monk fruit and protein. So again, it's simple, but when you taste it and you look at it, it's so beautiful. You look like you're eating this big cupcake with this creamy tahini frosting. So,
oh my God, I want to have one shipped to me right now. Oh
I know. And a lot of my stuff happens by accident so I guess a success story that can lead into, I'm just going to use myself because okay. I was at I speak very openly about my past eating disorder, my past sugar addiction, and my rock bottom with health that really, really put a fire under my butt to open up the Source Cafe. And I was not fueling my body with the right food. And I was eating too much sugar and drinking too much caffeine, and I wasn't paying attention to the quality of ingredients. And this was about 8 years ago before I just started to really be mindful about what I put in my body. And as soon as I made the switch, I was getting off my Advil and anti-inflammatory medicine, and my weight was coming down, and my gut and digestive issues were decreasing. My energy, my brain fog was going away. I mean, I started to really, really be in tune with my body and really seeing and feeling the benefits. And it takes a minute. This is not going to happen overnight. So if somebody's listening, I really want to make the change. I do believe that it takes a minute because it's food. It's not, it's not real medicine. Real medicine happens faster, right? Western medicine. Food takes a little bit much time. But as soon as we clear out the gunk that is making us sick, and we start adding in and fueling our body with that appropriate food, I mean, we can really heal ourselves with food. And I've got other success stories with a lot of weight loss stories, a lot of like, most of it was like gut stuff. So like constipation, diarrhea, gassy, bloatiness, when we start to like cut out those foods that are causing that. A couple of my best friends have autoimmune where they're just in bed and sick and fatigued, and, you know, they can come in and they can eat amazing stuff that's not going to trigger that, and they feel so good and they can live their lives. Anti-inflammatory diets and no sugar diets for my people that are, battling cancer or recovering from cancer. So it makes
unbelievable.
And that's what keeps me going, you know?
Yeah, I know it is, babe. And you know what? It was your own journey that got you here, which is so powerful to know.
Yeah.
So take me back to like 8 years and then 7, let's go back to the 7 to 8 years. It may be hard to remember, but it may come to you right away. What was the very first thing you threw together that when you ate it, you were like the oh shit factor, right? Like, this is amazing. And oh my God, this is good food. Like, when was that moment for you? What was that pivotal moment?
So it's interesting because I speak about like this journey a lot. And the thing that I really started to experiment with was turmeric. And I know turmeric is kind of old right now, but it was hot 8 years ago. Okay. It was new. And so the turmeric tonic, I'd had a hip surgery on my left hip because of overworking and over exercising. And I had two torn labrums in both hips. And my doctor said, well, we're going to do the next hip. And I said, you know what? I'm not going to do any more Western medicine. And this was 8 years ago. And I said, I'm going to heal myself with food. This is ridiculous. I had an aha moment, a spiritual awakening, whatever you want to call it. And I started to experiment with turmeric, and it was literally like the divine working through me. And so the first thing that really was like, whoa, this is powerful, was my turmeric tonic, which is still the number one drink at the source. And it's turmeric, apple cider vinegar, lemon, ginger, cinnamon, cayenne, and a little black pepper. All anti-inflammatory, helps with immunity, antioxidants, all kinds of stuff, blood pressure. And I just started drinking it and drinking it and drinking it. And my body started to change. I started slinging it out of the back of my old restaurant in gallons to my customers, to my employees. Wow. People were feeling better, getting off medicine. And that's when I started to say, all right, God, universe, and I use those words interchangeably. Yes. Send me the next step. Like, here, I've got this tonic. I think I need a storefront. And I just started envisioning exactly what I wanted. And then, it always, when universe comes knocking, like, hi, here it is, smacks you in the face. That's what happened. And I was like, oh no, wait a second. I'm not ready. And it's like, yep, you've been asking, sister, for like 2 years. So like, it's time to get on up. And 30 something days later, the source was open. So yeah, it happened very fast.
And I love, okay, so first of all, I'm sitting here smiling because I've got the goosies because we have started, my husband and I do all this research, right? And I'm always wanting to know what's the most natural way to do things. So we've started on turmeric, and we've started doing apple cider vinegar, and, just things that all I know is that I feel better when I do my turmeric, and it's not a liquid, it's just a supplement. So to be able to get, well, we're going to have to figure out how Holly, can order a whole bunch of this from you and have it shipped to Arizona, and it will last. Can you ship it cold? Can you do that? You know
what? I'm actually making a powder right now. And so the powders will be able to ship. And then all people will have to do is add their water and ACV.
Okay, so I'm really first easy on the list, please. Make sure of it. Yeah, see. But the fact that you just started that, and you're right. I mean, to me, it's the most natural things that are part of our earth. And as God gave us all these beautiful, foods that are so from the ground, right? And we are over all the chemicals and stuff, and you've pulled all that away, and you've gotten back to it. And can I just say, I got goosies when I found out. I knew the reason you called it the source was more than just the source of food, because I'm very spiritual. And I was like, of course it's the source, because you trusted God. You basically handed yourself over and said, all right, I'm yours now. Yeah. Come on, universe. Come on, God. What is next? And
exactly.
You know that old saying? I know Amber's going to love this, but I always tell this to people. I go, be careful what you pray for. Because if you really pray, it's going to happen, and it's going to happen fast. Yes.
And I've said that before. I mean, I remember calling my mom and be like, oh my God, I think that we found a location. I was like, I don't think I'm ready. And then it was just like, yeah, we're ready. This is it. And she said, no, you've been asking.
And it's time. And now you're
Universe is
learning.
here.
Yeah. And you're like, now you're such a good testimony to that, because you're like, this business, look at what's happened. And it's not, I know now that I've been with you, it's not about the business. It's about the lives and the people's lives you're impacting. And I know that's what drives you, because you love your staff. You love making sure they're feeling energized and fueled and feeling good. So this isn't just about what food we're serving our customers. It starts with you, Amber, and your people.
You.
And I love that
Thank
about
you.
Oh, I love
Thank
that.
you.
So, I just have to know though. So I got to know, curiosity. So the Amber I know and love, and now knowing that 8 years ago, take us back to when you were a younger child. I mean, what was pivotal? Was there a pivotal moment in your life that you can look back on and go, I may not have seen this coming, but it was a big part of you overcoming something, or just that younger woman, right? I don't know. Maybe it was childhood, maybe it was high school, middle school, or college. Was there a pivotal moment for you that really has a lot to do with the fuel of who you are today?
That's an amazing question. I think for me, it was late. I mean, I was a dancer, so I gained a lot of confidence when I was 16 and asked to play Dorothy of the Wizard of Oz. I was 15 actually, and I was chosen over all these other women and or girls. And that was one of my first boost of confidence, which gave me like a lot of power and drive. And I usually, as a kid, honestly, I set my mind to something and I would make it happen. My mother will like remember that about me. And then my second big pivotal moment, I would say, was right after college, when I was asked to come open up my first restaurant in California. And I literally was so scared. I was so insecure. I was a young chef. Getting through chefing as the only woman in the restaurant was like something major. Like I wanted to quit every single day. And there was just something in me that was like, you know what? Deep down in my soul, I had just like the confidence and the drive. And I knew this was my path. This was my dharma, my purpose. And I literally cried and wanted to quit every single day. And something just kept me going. And then I was asked to come open up Mediterraneo that I ran for 10 years as executive chef in Hermosa Beach before the Source opened. And that was like the scariest thing of my life. But I just knew it. I was like, bam, this is it. This is what I've been. Yeah, this is what I've been working for my whole entire life, to be it for this moment. So yeah.
Oh. And you know what? All of that you went through for those 10 years being an executive chef, and even, prior to that, being the only female in the kitchen and the only chef.
Yeah.
What you gained and learned by not giving up. And I have to know, because I know everybody listening wants to know, there's all these food cooking shows, right? And this, and the Hell's Kitchen and all that. But every time I meet somebody that's a chef, I learn more about, you're in it because it's an art and a science and a passion. This is not a 40-hour-a-week job. This is this is your life, 60 to 80 hours. But is it really that crazy behind the scenes that we see on some of these shows, Amber?
It is.
Really?
It really is. And I have to say, it's one of the hardest. I mean, everyone that's like, oh, the restaurant business is so hard. There's a lot of days where I'm like, why am I doing this? Am I crazy to open up another restaurant? Are you insane? No, it's completely, especially as a young chef and interning and apprenticing and stuff. I mean, I worked 80 hours a week, and I would work the long 12, 15-hour days and, wear double sport bras because my nipples would burn on the grill. And be yelled
seriously?
at. Oh yeah. Cried every day. Pots and pans being thrown in the kitchen. Cutting ourselves, burning ourselves, barely, just sweating and barely drinking and eating until late night hours. I mean, it's insane because it is art. So especially when you're working underneath a chef, and I can say this now as the chef having employees, is when you produce and put out a beautiful plate of food, that is your art. That is representing like you, right? Like it's representing the soul of that chef. And when you've got some like a server that comes up and just like slings the plate and messes it up, that's what gets us crazy. It's like, oh, you just like basically took a paintbrush and like splattered my art. So that is when like knives start to throw and the screaming. Oh yeah, because then it looks bad on us. So yeah, it's definitely, it's high intensity, and it's like it's the customer service industry. It's tough, but I love it. And I have to just keep going back to my bigger purpose.
Yes. And you know what I love is you just made me crack up. I had a visual of the double bras and I'm like, oh my God, the sports bras. And you're like, to think of what you've endured. I mean, seriously, let's just pause and have a moment to celebrate you, my friend, because you could have easily thrown the towel in. You could have left so bitter about something you were passionate about that you could have been like, screw this. I never want to do this again. And yet God had you at some point
Yeah.
they are, there was a bigger purpose for you, because what you're doing now, so about healing and the good foods and then bringing this to the world, all of that, you wouldn't be here today if you'd given up, right?
I know.
Oh.
I know.
Oh.
I know. Thank you. That feels good. And I know my story with my health and my sugar addiction and all that had to happen to put me here too. It's like going through the gunk. It all's part of it.
Yeah. And this is unbelievable. And as we wrap this up, because I'm sitting here with goosies, because I want to be the first person to order the powder. So don't forget me. And anytime I'm anywhere near you, I'm going to be out there seeing you, and I'll let you know. And for anybody that's listening to this show, if you're anywhere near Hermosa Beach, it's The Source, and she's opening up her second restaurant in Manhattan Beach. And two things, Amber, really quick. One would be is, if people want, is there any way to order food, or is that not available yet?
No, it's not yet, but that is 2020. So right now, no, unless you live in the area, we're starting online delivery, but no, not far away, not yet.
Okay. But the cookbook, when will the cookbook be out?
Okay. So the cookbook is, I'm going to manifest that definitely end of February, beginning of March. That's definitely when it will be published. So yes.
Yay. We might have to have you on the show again and I do this with a lot of guests, part 2,
Yay.
right? Like, where are things now?
Yeah.
And then the other thing is, this is just coming to me, but what advice would you give to that younger person right now? Because let's face it, cooking it's a big thing. There's tons of cooking shows, there's channels, right? It's become a huge heightened profession and passion, and people are really diving into it. But based on everything you've done, and I don't know what advice you'd give, what advice would you give to maybe your younger self when you first started out in this, or to that person listening that maybe isn't young, but they're like wanting to finally go after their dream, Amber? What advice could you give?
To going after your dream? Oh my gosh. So I would say, let go of all that chatter. Well, first for me, the advice would be, if you believe in it and your passion is there and you've got your vision, just do it. I feel like the excess chatter in your head, tell it to go away or F off, but also other people. So a lot of people in my life are like, oh, you can't do that, or that's too hard. It's like, screw you guys. I'm doing it. So as long as you believe it, like going after your dreams, and it's all about faith. It's like so much faith. Like, ask yourself, do you want to be in faith or fear today? And and you got to fake it till you make it. And that's how I did it. I just fake it till I make it. I totally, totally trust. I totally have faith. And that is what I would say. And if you believe it, that you can do it. It doesn't matter what outside people are going to say, or those little fear voices inside of your head. That's what I would say.
Oh, I love it. Because me, I'm all about tell me no, watch me go.
I love that, girl. It's like my favorite.
I know. And you and I were like, you're like, oh my God. And I go, but that came from being a little girl and, not letting the world shut me down, and you too. And, and I love that you said, step out of fear and into faith. If we aren't willing to trust that our soul has a higher calling, you are always going to, I'll leave it like this. I'll give people this challenge, Amber. You are doing a disservice to the world by not bringing your soul to the world, right?
Amen, sister. Shine that light. Shine that light and take up more space. Do not be, it is. I love it.
I love you. And I can't wait to see the new branding, because I'm having a visual of what I'm picturing this new branding of The Source to look like, but I'm not going to say a word. Okay. But I just got this most amazing visual. So I can't wait to see it.
Awesome.
I truly love and adore you, and I can't wait to see you again in the near future.
Me too.
And just keep being amazing, Amber. You are amazing.
Thank you. Oh. Thank you for having me. This was so lovely.
Absolutely. Bye, my love.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you for joining me for another awesome celebration of you. If you were inspired by this story, please share it with your family and friends and hashtag Your Story Matters. I'd love to hear from you, so please leave a comment on iTunes. And absolutely, please come to my website, hollydowling.com. Leave a comment there too, and while you're there, pick up your free gift. Most importantly though, just remember that your life is a gift from God. What you do with it is your gift back.